comic books from big publishers that no one gives a shit about that are about real life issues, like immigration, Trump, that kind of thing, racism. It's like no one reads these because they're not what good comics. If you were to
Yeah.
say do what they've done back then, like with the X-Men, with where they talk about
Oh my
discrimination the way they
fucking
did,
god.
then okay, yeah, we'll read it because the way they wrote it was good. And same thing with like how their mutant powers are an allegory of puberty too. That's why.
Jesus fucking Christ. Nice, hang on. So, for those of you who don't know, yesterday was the, unfortunately, the 1-year anniversary of the death of the late, great Jason David Frank. And, yeah. And, yeah, and since then, Galactic Productions LLC, aka Zachary Taylor McGinnis, this jackass has said, quote, "A year after you selfishly took your own life, hundreds have followed suit in your name." What? There has been so much smoke blown up your ass, you should be floating in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It must chap your ass that the Red Ranger floats each year instead of you. Frankly, I'm glad you're dead. I wish your castmates would speak the truth, as I've dropped most of them. I don't care anymore. You were an asshole. Oh, and he's selling Jason David Frank's autograph for $1,000 on a body shot from the show, a screenshot for $750 from Forever Red, or rather, I think it's a promotional shot, and material from later on for $500 of him in the Green Ranger suit with Green Ranger stuff around him, for him in the White Ranger suit, and him in his gi with his rank belts on with the Green and White Rangers on the side. Like I said, for $500 a piece, this cocksucker is asking, and for JDF's autograph.
What is this hate boner for Jason David Frank exactly?
The fuck? He's got a fucking Vern Troyer Jingle All the Way autograph on his eBay page here. He's got a thing signed by a promotional picture signed by the cast of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie for $1,500. $75 for a Steve Cardenas signed Once and Always pose. $75 for Time Force. $100 for an Amy Jo Johnson pick. Kel Mitchell Dancing with the Stars. $150 for Star Wars Celebration in pictures. A Jake Lloyd signed picture from Jingle All the Way for... Jesus Christ, this guy is an autograph scalper. And he's a fucking, he was, at some point in time, he was the agent for Warwick Davis, Kel Mitchell, Jazz Butawalia, David Fielding, Claire Blackwelder, Nakia Barise, Steve Cardenas, Brennan Meggia, and Paul Schreier. Jesus goddamn Christ.
So now
You're a piece of shit, man.
So not only is he for Jason David Frank, he's also a scalper.
He's also falsely claiming that JDF was his fucking client on his website on the In Memoriam page.
Dude,
yeah, so he's shitting on him. Yeah, he's shitting on him while also fucking profiting off of his name, likeness, and autograph. Like, good God!
Get him on this show.
What
I want to debate this motherfucker. I want to tell him how much of a piece of shit he is for talking ill of Jason David Frank when he's got no way to defend himself, while he's at the same time scalping his autograph as well as others. Dude, you have no right to say Jason David Frank is a piece of shit when you're selling off his fucking autographs and action figures online. That's like if I were to say, hey, I fucking hate Ewan McGregor. He's a liar. He's a piece of shit motherfucker. And then you see me on my eBay website and on my eBay account, I'm selling Obi-Wan Kenobi action figures and Obi-Wan Kenobi
that were signed by him.
Yeah, it's
by
like,
the
what
way.
the hell is wrong with you?
Like, we're talking in, like, headshots, we're talking in promo pictures, we're talking in all kinds of fucking merch on this guy's eBay page, marked up quite significantly, mind you, because if I'm not mistaken, and, like, granted, you know, supply and demand and all that,
Right.
but marked up quite significantly, because if I'm not mistaken, JDF used to just sign shit for free.
Yeah.
At times.
He was like that. Yeah, sometimes he would just sign a lot of shit for free.
So, so this thing, it's just scumbag fucking behavior to do shit like this to.
Why is he
to
online
somebody,
fucking
like
shit like that though? If he's selling his
dead,
Jason David Frank stuff online.
Yeah, the dead childhood hero of fucking millions, and you're shit talking him on your fucking socials, man. And I'm like, good God.
Does he have a YouTube page?
Hang on, let me see here. I see his eBay page. I see his and the game's bugged out again. That's fucking amazing. Okay, there we go.
Welcome to my life for the past few days.
He misspelled his fucking website here. Or you're supposed to put www dot your website here, right?
And
he put
com,
www www.galacticproductionsllc.com. Not www dot. You're a fucking retard on top of being a piece of shit. Let me see. I'm gonna click on his contact information. I'm not gonna submit anything to him.
Is this phone number?
About us.
Is this phone number 1-800-Jackass?
Probably ought to be. Oh, he's got his legal department on there.
Legal? Oh, he knows that someone's gonna come after his ass with all the shit he's been talking about, JDF.
Austin St. John on his... if you need a con agent, you can stop looking now that you found Zach. Heck, considering the shit that Austin St. John got himself involved with, I kind of feel like you shouldn't have an endorsement from him up there.
What, he got into shit with Austin St. John?
No, Austin St. John, the reason why he wasn't in Once and Always is because he got arrested for defrauding the United States government during COVID.
I heard about that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
what timing.
Fake paycheck protection program, loans and things like that. And incidentally, like, that's part of the reason. And, like, people were talking about, oh, you should get in on this stuff, and it was like, incidentally, that's part of the reason why I didn't want to accidentally commit fraud, and this guy committed fraud on purpose.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see here. He works with Jim Cummings, Kevin Sorbo, Jake the Snake Roberts, Nichelle Nichols. Jesus Christ. Hang on, isn't Nichelle Nichols suffering from dementia?
Oh shit, that's not a good sign.
Nichelle Nichols. No. Oh wait, she died last year. Never mind. Why is she listed on your list of current clients?
He could care less. You see him. He's got the brain of a
You have
walnut.
a dead person enlisted on your fucking endorsement page as if she's a live client. And man.
So,
Good
King Baba, all he's gonna do is try to yeet me.
So he has no YouTube page, as far as we know.
As far as I can tell, no.
You should be thankful. Piece of shit.
By the way, hey guys, this version of Mario 64 introduced us to low poly Mario.
Shitting on Jason David Frank is practically the same as shitting on Mr. Rogers at this point.
Oh man,
It's like, who hurt you? Did your uncle dress up as a Power Ranger and touch you in your no-no place at this point? Like, what the fuck?
This guy looks like he's made out of plastic. This is
Sounds like his
PS5,
heart
ladies
is
and
made out of
gentlemen.
Plastic.
Oh yeah. Why is there an invisible wall here? Why do all of these people look like shit? for somebody playing the trumpet.
Let's move on to let's move on to the news before.
Yeah, let's move on to slightly less. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Before I bust a blood vessel, Jesus Christ, man, who talks shit about him? Comic retailer warns industry is on brink of collapse unless major changes are enacted.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, well,
you kind of already knew that, but yeah.
Saying that. Here it is. Marvel and DC, you blew it, or maybe you just succeeded in your plan to kill off an American art form of which you have been the able stewards of for 80 years, almost 100. It's baffling that something so prolific was ushered to the chopping block and executed. Strong accusation? No, just the unvarnished truth as new comic sales find new lows. Worse, you've gutted any army of passionate retailers who worked in this biz for decades for close to poverty wages in many cases. To put such a system of advocates in every state and major city in America and around much of the world would cost a fortune, but it happened organically to your benefit, and in gratitude, you strip mined what little profit there was in favor of short-term goals and chasing corporate bonuses. We, the retailers, cultivated the fan base in the same way the underappreciated creators created the precious IPs that have made their parent companies obscene amounts of money. It was a biosystem of fans feeding off the Wednesday excitement, eager to spend money on not only the comics that drew them in, but the t-shirts, lunchboxes, the mouse pads with Spider-Man or Batman on them. Fan, retailers, and creators have all suffered under the recent corporate mandates. Where did it go off the rails? It's not such a conundrum to anyone with 2 active brain cells and a list of back issues they need to complete their runs. Comics, first and foremost, have always been entertainment. Sure, collectible entertainment, which justifies the cost to entertainment ratio, but along the way, the immediate sale and false bolstering of numbers through variant covers, convoluted events, and incessant reboots left to the consideration of the family. Characters swapping, gender bending, and changing sexual orientations of beloved characters fell flat with the Wednesday Warriors who supported the industry for decades. The crowd of new readers the changes were meant to attract didn't translate to a one-for-one swap, leaving a declining customer fan base. To make things worse, to make things more difficult on the retail side, and a very deliberate abuse of both the FOC system and retailers' goodwill towards publishers, we constantly have to FOC? And issue 2 issues out. What the hell? We constantly have to FOC and issue 2 issues out rather than next issue. Weird wording. This makes ordering a guess. Throw in 4 covers on number 5, then 6 on 6, one of which is my art germ and another by Scotty Young. And then number 7 has 5 covers with neither cover artist, and number 8 has a celebrity appearance cover. And it's a constant and very deliberate shell game, forcing retailers to guess on nearly every next issue. How do we fix this, assuming we can pull the canoe back over the waterfall at this point? A friend of mine recently moved into a condo and took up an advisory position on the board. The pool was in need of repair, the roofs need replacing, and the facades and landscaping had seen better days. There was no money to make the repairs, and the only solution was to add $150 a month to everyone's condo fees to pay for the repairs. The meeting that followed the announcement was less than friendly, as people complained about extra costs. My buddy explained that everything has been living off the equity in the condos and put no money into the condos, thereby valuing them. And here we are in the comics industry facing the same conundrum. Marvel and DC have strip mined the comic industry for the better part of a decade, putting no money into the market that sustained them for years. Much like the condo association, an investment is needed by those who lived off the equity for years. If you want to market in 2 years, yes, 2 years tops, then the time to invest is now. What we need to revitalize this market, and he has 8 rules here that close out the article. And here are the rules he believes will save the comic book industry. 1. $3.99 comics. I would say $2.99, but we have increased rents, labor, and insurance costs to cover to $3.99, $4.99, and more is a non-starter with too many fans.
Yeah, the higher cost of comics with the lowering of their quality
Right.
has led to some issues. We'll say with it makes it easier for people to not pick them up.
Yeah, especially if they're like $5.99 for like one issue.
Yeah, for a shitty fucking badly printed issue. Badly printed, badly drawn, badly written makes it easy to say, I'm not gonna pick that up.
Tom Taylor.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Number 2, fewer covers. I know this will get some pushback, but from every corner, but without a focus, it's all about the value of the covers and not what's in between them. Max of 2 covers. While you're at it, give us a hook to sell, not just another convention commission piece with no indication of what's inside the comic it covers. Yeah, sounds about right too. It's kind of odd that I'm looking for like one Ms. Marvel when there's like 5 of the same thing with different covers.
Yeah, and that's been an issue with Marvel for a long time too. Where like they have a shitload of covers, but they also, not only do they have a shitload of covers, they ship a shitload of copies of the issues as well. Like, I remember when the guy who owns the local game store started expanding into comics as well. One of the things that Marvel kept doing to him was they just shipped him fucking...
What did they ship
a fucking
him,
ass load of comics, even issues that he didn't order. And they weren't, like, charging him for it, but they were doing that so they could pump up their circ numbers, more so than they were to do anything else.
I see.
Yeah, I don't think, no, but here's the thing though, it's not Marvel who started it to begin with. They made it popular. It was Valiant Comics that
Valiant and Image.
Well, mostly Valiant though, because here's the thing, it was them that started it to begin with, because once they made a limited print run of Turok comics, that's when people started thinking that there was a value in these comic books, even though there was like a shit ton of these specific ones. Because here's what they did. They printed a shitload of these, like let's say 500, right? That's still not a lot, but it's still a lot in terms of comic books. What they would do is they would put a limited amount up on the shelves, like say 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Once those sell out, then they put 4 more on the shelves and claim that they're hard to find, they're limited edition.
Yeah, that's a GameStop tactic as well.
Yeah,
they did that with stuff to try and get you to... Like, whenever GameStop wanted to push pre-orders, that's the kind of shit they'd do. Like,
they did that
even
for
though
a long time.
Fire Emblem Awakening was like that, because I didn't have a pre-order for Fire Emblem Awakening, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I went into GameStop on the launch day for Fire Emblem Awakening, and I said, hey, can I get a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening? And I was like, sorry, all our copies are pre-ordered. I was like, okay. Hey, that's, I thought, okay, that's fair, I guess. Went back a week later, and they were still pre-ordered. It was like, so you're telling me you have copies of this game that I am willing to pay you for, but you're, not willing to sell them to me.
Sounds about right.
Are you fucking kidding me, guys? And this... It was like another month before I got a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening, because I checked GameStop every week and I checked Walmart every week. Guess who wound up getting my money? Who? It was Walmart. It was Walmart, because they actually were willing to let me buy the goddamn thing.
I see. And how did that make you feel?
I liked it. I played the hell out of that game.
I know.
It was one of my favorite games of all time. I've got over 100 hours in it.
I know. I'm just saying that as though I were a therapist.
Yeah.
Here, that leads to number 3. Editors who are editors. Too many stories are lackluster and agenda-driven too. Too many covers are sketch-driven.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
Editors who are editors. Too many stories are lackluster and agenda-driven. Too many covers are con-sketch drivel with no sales point, and too much interior art is amateurish. It's clear neither Marvel nor DC has a publishing plan beyond the current reboots. Or reboots, if you want to be more accurate.
I remember when editors used to make editorial decisions that were, you know, that like informed shit.
Yes.
And, you know, like guys like Stan Lee were the head of Marvel editorial. Well, and those guys had been writers during formative years and you know, excuse me.
Yep.
During formative years of the comics, and you know, that led to good business practices being implemented. And except for, you know, that fact that Toy Biz almost ran Marvel out of business at one point in time, but that's aside the point. I mean, good comic books were still coming out around that time. So Stan, and you know, Stan the man, and wrote good comic books, and knew what made a good comic book. So, you know, he was a good candidate for editor-in-chief. Then we had editors-in-chief like Joe Quesada.
Ooh.
Joe Quesada has rarely, if ever, written a good comic in his life.
Does he know how?
Let me see here, actually. I'm gonna look this up while there's a cutscene going on.
By the way, meanwhile in my game, I'm sliding. On a slide that has killed me on multiple occasions.
Yeah, I'll do anything you ever dreamed of being complete. Oh, he worked on Valiant comics like Ninjak and Solar Man of the Atom. He worked on
Those sold well, just so you know.
Hey, Alex, so...
Batman Sword of Azrael, X-Factor for, X-Factor for Marvel and Sword of Azrael for DC. He opened Event Comics, where he had a character called Ash. Yeah, that's a very original name. Yeah. No, a very original name here, guys. Fictional firefighter Ashley Quinn, born from a mysterious incident where Ashley was trapped inside a burning building and inside a regeneration chamber. What is it with male characters having the name Ashley? I know it's a unisex name. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, Joe Quesada drew it. He didn't fucking write it. He's a goddamn artist. He's a good artist.
He does write though, from what I hear.
Oh no, he writes. He wrote some of the worst stories in the history of Marvel Comics.
Didn't he write a bunch of Daredevil stories?
I don't know. What I do know is that he wrote the run of X-23 where she was a preteen prostitute.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't
with
think
an
I'd
infinite.
Yeah, I don't think I'd write that down on my resume.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's sold well, it's sold well. But here's the thing: I don't think that's sold well at all.
The original creators of X-23 legitimately had to go back and rewrite her origin story.
Which, keep in mind, X-23 is an original character created for X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, she debuted in X-Men Evolution, and I think she was like 12 at that time.
Yep. And Joe Quesada reimagined her as a preteen prostitute with an infinitely regenerating hymen.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, you know, at least she can...
He also wrote One More Day.
The most infamous. Well, at least there's one good thing about you know, her hymen regenerating. He can satiate that one fetish. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. Let's move on.
Let's move on before we send Gizmo more to hell.
Number 4, the characters are iconic for a reason. The movies never got traction until they leaned into what made the characters decades-long successes. Change is good for a story, but inevitably you need to touch base with what brought them. Gender swaps,
Yep.
sexual orientation changes, and outright changes to who's in the suit are short-term headline grabbers, but without long-term sales, with very few exceptions.
How many
Very
times
few.
have they put other people in Captain America's suit, made other people take up the shield, and how often has it wound up with them having to give it right back to Steve Rogers? Because everybody remembers Steve Rogers.
And the MCU seems like they're going to be heading in that direction as well.
Yeah.
They're bringing
Like
it back.
Captain Stephen G. Rogers is Captain America. There is a reason why on the fucking helicarrier, they said they had Captain Stephen G. Rogers on the on his locker and not Captain America. It's because those two are one and the fucking same in the eyes of 90% of the fucking public. It's not like Batman has, other people have been in the Batsuit. If
Like
Clark
Terry
Kent
McGinnis.
was, Terry McGinnis,
That's
Terry
different.
McGinnis, Dick Grayson, Clark Kent, they've all put on the Batsuit, and it's all been in like kind of temporary or in like the far future,
Right.
Or
Like
hell,
Batman
Al Damien's worn the bat suit before.
Yes, like whenever stuff like this is temporary usually or far future, like we said, and so like when and here's the thing, like people really like Terry to the point where they really wanted to see a Terry McGinnis movie with Michael Keaton as old Batman,
Yes.
and that would have been fucking amazing, but we didn't get that. We got the
There's
Flush
even-
instead.
There's even some fan art where Kevin Conroy would be playing Old Man Bruce, which I think would have been cool too.
Yes, it would have
That
been.
should have happened. That should have happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it didn't.
But no, they decided to.
They
play it
wasted Kevin Conroy hard in that fucking crossover.
They could have even bent the rules a little bit and had Luke be fucking Batman Beyond,
right.
Because Luke,
Would've been a little strange, but hey,
At least
Luke
for
Fox is
reference
supposed to be one of the Bat family, anyways. It would have been strange, but it
Hell,
would have been something.
yeah,
would've at
hell,
least
he
been
was
nice
he was the
to see a
best part
reference.
about Batman Bad Blood, even though he was barely in that movie.
Luke Fox is also consistently the only good character in the Batwoman show, except for the dad.
Or Batwoman herself.
Now, you mean Lucius?
No, Luke Fox. Lucius Fox is not. Lucius Fox got murdered in Batwoman.
Why?
So after the events of The Dark Knight Rises, Lucius Fox got murdered in a fucking assassination attempt that was disguised to look like an armed robbery gone wrong. Yes, this is a legitimate. This is a legitimate. Yeah, this is a legitimate thing. Also, at some point in time after the events of The Dark Knight Rises, Bruce Wayne actually came back and killed Joker.
Yeah, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, so he killed. So Heath Ledger's Joker died off screen at some point in time.
So he got off screen to death, is what you're trying
Yeah.
to say.
Well, he got off screen Batman'd to death. So
Batman
Yeah.
just punched him a bunch and did that pose that everyone drew Omni-Man in. Is what you're trying to say.
Although
wait, even better. Hey, Joker! Ah! Try getting a reservation at Dorsia now!
yeah. So you've got all that shit. And at some point in time, Jim Gordon stopped being the police commissioner, and Gotham PD became even more useless than it actually was originally. So, that's...
Wait, so Batwoman takes place in the same continuity as...
Batwoman takes place in the Nolanverse, yes.
Why?
I don't know, But here's the thing, like, there are a bunch of references to the events of the Dark Knight trilogy that they didn't have to make, but they made, and so, they keep doing this shit. Yeah. And then, once the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths happen, the Batwoman reality, the Batwoman Nolanverse reality merges with that of Supergirl's Earth and the mainline Arrowverse, which was on a different Earth up to that point. So yeah, they did that.
Why do you actively try to ruin things, DC?
Don't know. They also ruined Smallville in that crossover, because
Of course they did.
Smallville Clark Kent gave up his powers to be with his family, and
that's not how Superman works, people.
Yeah, and he developed an immunity to kryptonite, right?
No!
By giving up his powers.
Well, he's wearing a red ring, and isn't red kryptonite supposed to be an entirely different effect in the Smallville universe?
So yes, red kryptonite changes your red kryptonite changes your personality immensely. It's kind of like it is in Superman 3, but it's also kind of not, like, you know.
Basically, let your inner desires take control of your body and basically act before you think.
Yeah.
You know, Alex, I get the distinct impression that I would be Superman in that bar in Superman 3 where he just gets drunk.
I am now Ben Affleck Superman explaining this to Christopher Reeve Superman, and who is now getting incredibly drunk.
Speaking of stories, number 5, tell stories without proselytizing. I've beat this drum for a decade and more, but here we are, chasing away a large portion of our customer base with every new tale as they want entertainment, not a serialized sermon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like we're supposed to be looking at making stories. Yeah.
Yeah, number 6, limited new characters. Fresh blood is good, but it's become obvious that characters aren't organic to stories. They're shoehorned in for a bump in sales. Dance with who brung you, as the saying goes. Please!
Yeah. That also being said, like, there's this thing where they create a new character who's like a carbon copy of an existing character, rather than creating a new character who does new things. And they create new characters to fill spaces where existing characters would have done, and then they, like, change existing characters instead of creating new characters, you know? Like, like the gay Alan Scott thing. Like, we already had a gay superhero. His name was Obsidian. He wasn't incredibly popular, but he was pretty goddamn popular. But, you know, saying, here's gay superhero Obsidian, who's a really good character and has some cool stories we can tell with, and he has some nice really fucking awesome powers we could have done literally anything with. That doesn't get you as much press as saying Green Lantern gay.
And wasn't he the father of one of Kyle Rayner's most iconic girlfriends?
Alan Scott is the father of Jade and Obsidian, and who were a superhero team. And Jade is is the girlfriend of Kyle Rayner, yes.
Who was killed off by Major Force.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
That too.
We try not to think about that.
We try not to think about a lot of things, Alex, but we kind of have to think about it, because otherwise, who is going to think about it? Because unfortunately, no matter how much... much we try to forget this shit, we gotta bring it up anyway, because if we don't, who fucking will?
Well, evidently Marvel Comics doesn't give a shit, so, you know.
I'm sorry if I'm going full razor fist
I want
on
to stop.
this.
I want to stop looking around, Miles. Please stop making me look at the boring music stuff. I'd rather be playing musical instruments than watching them in fucking cases. Oh, would you look at that?
I'm still pissed off that they made
By the way,
that they literally made Iceman gay. People forget that when I mean they made Iceman gay, I literally mean they took the character and literally made him turn gay.
Why?
Yeah.
Because Jean Grey used her telepathic powers on him.
Oh, well, okay, so people are like, oh, well, Jean helped him get out of the closet. No, he altered his mind. That's also called gay conversion therapy, but the other way.
Yep.
You ever heard of gay conversion therapy? Well, there's now an opposite effect called anti-gay conversion therapy, where they turn you gay, allegedly, instead of turning you straight, allegedly.
Let me see. Hang
I
on,
don't
let me
even
see.
believe in
That is not a fucking Telecaster. What the hell is wrong with the
I don't even
pickups
believe in
on
this
that?
bullshit where you can turn gay, I don't even believe in this bullshit where you can turn gay, turn straight, choose to be bisexual or anything like that, because that just sounds stupid to me. Like, if you're into something, you're into something.
Dude, there was this whole stupid conversation about like political lesbianism.
Yeah, it's already weird.
Hang on, this is the same fucked up Telecaster they had over there.
It's already
Why
weird
isn't
enough you have to experience this in comic books, especially if they literally go for the conversion therapy route, which is still so odd to do, man. You're literally altering a guy's mind so he can act and turn gay.
There's not.
If that was the other way around, nobody would be.
Yeah, there's no unfortunate implications there whatsoever.
By the way,
okay, number 7. I'd ask for a minimum advertised price, but we're not in that world anymore. You make deals with the devil, which is also on you. So basically, just pay the price so you can advertise the comic books.
Yeah. So the adverts,
and last but not least,
there's a lot of shit about the advertisement and of comics where like that you used to see ads for new comics on TV.
Yes.
And now you don't. Like I'd see ads for things on like, and this is the kind of stuff that I didn't skip out on ads for, or is like, you know, I'll watch an ad for a new comic book. You know, I'll watch an ad for a. Hang on, let me take a look. Okay, that's a decent looking Dreadnought. The acoustic guitars they got right. How did they fuck up the electrics? I've never seen a Telecaster that looked that fucked up. Granted, the Telecaster is a weird-looking guitar as it is, but, like, come on. Like, why does it have 2 neck pickups? And they're not even far enough apart. Where's the bridge pickup? Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
And, last rule. Here's the big one. Discount and shipping. Marvel and DC screwed this market, so if you want to continue to have people dumb enough to labor 60 hours a week for poverty wages to sell and advocate for your precious IPs, you need to invest in that market. You strip-minded, that word again, though it applies to precisely, all the cash out of the rec market, and retailers are bleeding from the bone. We need your investment, or this market goes away. No, you can't just sell online, as the minimum production costs won't be met with online only. Investments means putting books on stands at a cost to you, not the people with the highest per issue cost. Actual plan: set a minimum for each title by store. Every issue over that minimum is sold to brick and mortar retailers for 60 cents. This puts books on stands, minimizes costs to retailers, and helps print runs. Why should you listen to any of this? Because your livelihood is tethered to the retail community. Rome is on fire. Fiddle or get on the phone with some of your key retail partners and find out what it's like out there, but be prepared for some ugly stories. Without some immediate action, I see 25% of the retail stores closing at the end of the first quarter of 2024. Bold statement.
It's fucking cool.
Oh, Peach,
Yeah,
I finally found you. Oh, never mind. I found
Yeah,
Jack
that sounds
Black.
about right, really. Because, I can now save the world dressed as Trilby from the Chuzo mythos.
Let's take a break from comic books, and I'll announce.
Well, actually, I want to bring up something else comic book related, because I just saw that Marvel insider Jeff Snyder says that we can expect to see a female Silver Surfer in the new Fantastic Four movie.
Okay, I don't want to see it anymore now.
Along with allegedly Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, even though they already had a really good Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I like Pedro Pascal as an actor. I don't like him as a person, but I like him as an actor. He is not a good choice for Mr. Fantastic.
No.
You shave the mustaches off him, he may look like a good cosplayer, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to end well, considering Silver Surfer is already recognizable enough as a guy, and he's got a good backstory too. He's got a lot of lore in the Marvel universe ever since the beginning. He was never fucked with.
Yeah. Hey, we're looking more and more like that pitch I gave about Silver Surfer making his debut in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 being how it really should have been, you know?
By the way, Alex, just imagine this, if you will. Oh, the Silver Surfer, or instead of trying to take over the planet, or rather trying to make it so that your planet is susceptible to Galactus, as female Silver Surfer, she seduces the planet.
Please don't.
Come on! We gotta make something out of this.
Do you really think that Rule 63 of the Silver Surfer is gonna make it any better?
No,
you fucked my
obviously
husband.
not. I'm just saying.
You fucked my husband, so now I'm going to fuck the Earth. Except I'm gonna aim even higher. I'm gonna fuck the moon. How do you like that, Obama?
On the moon.
I just fucked the moon, you idiot.
On the moon.
I swear to God.
You've got 48 hours before my cum droplets hit the Earth. Now get out of my sight before I come on you too.
Why do you come?
Oh my God. Oh, that was good.
Let's move on to and say something else that's also lighthearted, and that's the Electric Ferret database, where we talk about who was added in, from characters to vehicles to creatures and so on. And we're starting with the Walkers from The Walking Dead.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Walkers from Walker, Texas Ranger.
If only.
That would be awesome. Let's put the Walkers from Walker, Texas Ranger against the Walkers from The Walking Dead.
The Walkers are going to win that.
Which ones?
Infernos from Fire Force.
The ones who are related to Chuck Norris.
Okay, then.
Joe S. from One Punch Man. Bloody Bess from Neo, Marvel Comics. They're a Marvel Comics species, apparently. Terror Sore from Beast Wars.
Okay.
Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way.
Who is
the
that?
Dad. The dad.
Oh, that's Arnold?
Yep.
Oh.
It's the Goblinator.
I always think of him as just Arnold and his son being Jamie.
Myron Larrabee, the mailman.
We should watch that movie this Christmas.
Regalia
Alex,
Type F. Regalia Type F from Final Fantasy 15. The Spectre from Twisted Metal. Gingy from Shrek. Roadkill from Twisted Metal. Tokuchi from One Outs. Mutt Cuts from Dumb and Dumber. Dead Morose from Dead Morose. Or is that really? That's it. Hold on. Oh wow, it is. Oh, it's one of those myth kind of creatures. Stamry from Purana Mandir. I think it's a foreign film. Helios from Deus Ex.
Ooh, that's a good
Spawn,
choice.
The Spawn Mobile.
Oh,
You know
what now?
The
Spawn
You know
Mobile.
exactly what I said.
What?
It's a car that Spawn drives around in.
Amani from Star Wars.
That sounds about as stupid as the fucking Spider-Mobile.
Yes, it is.
It's Spawn. They already.
We've got to have merchandise.
It's Spawn. It already sounds awesome. Matthias from Disney's Frozen. The abominable.
I love this suit. Unironically, hey, I'm going to wear this suit until the game forces me to wear that stupid fucking Nike shit or Adidas shit or whatever.
Alex,
the hell.
you don't need to
Okay.
wear that Adidas shit. And once you have it, you can take it off.
Awesome.
Abominable snow monster of the north from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
Pumpkin Jack from Pumpkin Jack. Basim Ibn Ishaq from Assassin's Creed Mirage, the live action, the 2023 game. Gore from Plasma Sword. Antonio Garcia from Power Rangers Samurai.
Okay.
The computer from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
You do it.
Okay.
The Rubber Band Man from the sitcom My Name is Earl.
Oh, not Static Shock's Rubber Band Man. That sucks.
Ghost of Christmas Past. Space Eagle 5 from Spaceballs. Clark Griswold from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay. Oh, damn it.
Lloyd Asplund.
Earl Lloyd Asplund from Code Geass.
Yeah, there you go.
He basically built Suzaku's Nightmare frame.
On the wings of my dreams, rise and fall. On the wings
the way,
of
State
my
Farm.
dreams.
John Carver.
Jake from State Farm.
Yes, that guy. The literal guy. John Carver from Thanksgiving. The horror movie. Jesse Flanagan from Along Came a Spider. Gary
From
the Spider...
The movie with
Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
I think so. Gary the Spider Soneji from Along Came a Spider. Nick Ruskin from Kiss the Girls.
From
Michael... Kiss
the
Girls,
Morgan Freeman movie.
I guess. Michael Sullivan from Cross. Ooh, this one's a good one.
From... Okay, yeah,
John-
it makes sense if they're adding a bunch of Alex Cross characters in there. And
Here's
by
a
the
good
way,
one.
hey, think about this. They went from Morgan Freeman to Tyler Perry, and while I like Tyler Perry as an actor and comedian, then you know, he does not have the charisma of Morgan Freeman.
No.
Here's a good one. John Nolan from The Rookie.
Oh man,
I love that show, man.
that's a great show.
I don't know what's...
I like to see anything with Nathan Fillion in it.
Yeah, it's too bad they canceled the show, honestly.
Yeah.
You know...
Colin,
It's ABC. They either cancel or drive everything into the ground, or put it against Dancing with the Stars and preempt it like they did Castle. Castle was my favorite show on TV at the time when it was when it was still on the air, and they were always preempting it for like Dancing with the Stars or some bullshit.
I think the last time they had anything worth watching, Saturday morning cartoons were.
Yeah.
Still a thing.
ABC.
I'm talking,
Yeah.
One Saturday morning, 1, 2.
Yeah. You remember? They canceled Agent Carter.
They did.
Yeah. That's
They didn't-
unforgivable.
They didn't see money. Paul
Yeah.
and Peter from Funny Games.
By the way, Marvel, we already had a female-led superhero TV show, or comic book TV show, of a character everybody liked, and you fucking let it die.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Joseph
Like,
from Creep.
And I will never, ever, ever fucking forgive them for contradicting shit that was in Captain Marvel in the Black Widow movie.
Oof.
Like, I had a whole section dedicated into that in my Black Widow review. And I actually mentioned that stuff. I don't think I had Captain Marvel on Blu-ray at the time, but now that I do, when I get back to my Black Widow review, I can actually use that in there.
Okay.
I've got references, motherfucker. This movie is garbage.
We're almost done. Matt Pierce from Based on a True Story.
What?
Yeah, that's a new one. Gabriel Gabby Mosley from Found. Clement Manswell from City Primeval.
Okay.
The Sweet 16 Killer from Totally Killer. Dragon Sound from Miami Connection.
Dragon Sound from I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Rydia from Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, the girl who went from a lolly to...
Golbez from Final Fantasy IV. Celeste Share from Final Fantasy 6. Ferris
Yeah,
Shirley.
I definitely don't believe that you would do this, Quentin.
Ferris Shirley from Final Fantasy V.
Oh, was Mysterio evil all along?
And, okay.
Sorry,
And
somebody keeps putting spoiler socks in my mouth.
I will flush all your socks down the toilet. And last but not least, Supreme Intelligence from Marvel Comics as the latest one.
Yeah, that thing that Captain Marvel destroyed.
Yeah. Breaking news: 3 more have just been added. Chaos from Disney's Aladdin, the cartoon show. Santa Claus, Scott Calvin from The Santa Claus.
I like the Santa Claus.
Which
And
one?
The Santa Claus.
And
the Tim Allen one.
Okay. And Santa Claus from Violent Night. I think.
The Bill Goldberg version?
No, that's another one. Okay, hold on. I think I got my.
Oh, this is the David Arbor one.
I think I got my name wrong. I think I got the name wrong. Hold on, I have the movie here in my collection. Let me just double check. Movies. Christmas movies. Oh yeah, Violent Night.
So that's the David Arbor one, not the Bill Goldberg.
Not the Bill Goldberg one. Yeah, no, that one's different. But they did add these 2 Santa Clauses as recently as I was reading the list. I'm just gonna refresh the list just in case. Yep, that's all of them. Those are the most recent additions to the Electric Ferret database.
Cool.
And I will remind you guys, as well as anybody else who's watching, the draft has been moved up to Friday, being the last day you can turn in your fantasy drafts. And just so you know, if someone's picked a character, you cannot use that same character. And you have to have an account with the Magnetic Ferret forums if you want to participate in the fantasy draft matches. So I suggest if you want to go for the fantasy draft matches, hurry up and make that account so you can join in. But if it's too late, at least enjoy debating on what pick wins what scenario.
I got a bronze medal on this thing that I really didn't care about, and I just did because you had it here.
Okay.
All right. So news: Chuck Dixon rebukes claims that the X-Men in comics have always been woke. Legendary comic book writer Chuck Dixon, known for his runs on Batman, Punisher, Conan, Robin, Birds of Prey, and more, recently rebuked claims that the X-Men have always been woke. As part of his ongoing Ask Chuck Dixon series, Rising Star Comics queried Dixon, what do you think when people use X-Men as an example of how comics were always woke / political? The question you're added to me personally, I always thought it was a weak argument that had no basis in actual fact because in X-Men up until the aughts, the racism angle wasn't even that core in the X-Men as a whole. It was an action, adventure, superhero, sci-fi, fantasy, romantic soap opera with everything and a kitchen sink that had an
Yeah.
outsider theme on top of it. Plus, X-Men was often very un-PC, definitely not woke, as evident when the same people who parrot the line tried to cancel Chris Claremont last year. Dixon responded, "It's funny, isn't it? The thing about wokeism and political correctness and all the rest of it is the goalposts are always moving. I don't know Chris Claremont's politics, but I'll be you he was pretty much in line with the woke crowd until whatever it was he said or did made them turn on him," Dixon said. When you take the X-Men, the original X-Men in particular, who I saw as a pack of whiners, and now you make them victims into professional victims, he continued, and I agree with you that the outsider element is cool, but the outsider element is part of every superhero story, isn't it? They have a secret identity. They have an alter ego. Of course, they are an outsider. But taking it this far and then saying the comics are always political, they may have dealt with the issues of the day, he stated. I was on a podcast with John Bear recently, and he brought up the fact that the X-Men would often have discussions about religious faith because Kitty Pryde was a Jew, Colossus was an atheist, Kurt was a Catholic, and they would have discussions about these things. And it wasn't trying to tell the reader what to think on those subjects. It was simply the character exploring these issues, and it made them seem deeper, more relatable, more real that they had thoughts like this. That these were independently thinking characters instead of people on paper, Dixon elaborated.
Yeah, not just avatars for the fucking writer.
And the thing is, I'll hear the argument, well, Superman was political. Superman, he was a big FDR liberal because he would harass abusive, greedy landlords. That's posting the argument that's positing the argument that there's someone who likes greedy landlords. How is that political? Who likes greedy landlords? Nobody does, Dixon asserted. So that's not political, he said. That's Superman being a vigilante crime fighter standing for truth, justice, and the American way. Thank you. The American way, thank you, certainly isn't high rents and throwing orphans into the street. That ain't the American way. So there's nothing really political. And maybe politics are part of a story, but that doesn't excuse you injecting your agenda, your political agenda, your personal point of view into superhero stories. And telling the reader what to think, or shaming the reader, or literally shaming the reader, he added. Telling readers that if you don't agree with my political stance, or the political stance that I put in the mouth of Wolverine or Batman, then I don't want you reading my comics. It's divisive, he said. Comics were never meant to be divisive. They have universal themes, and there are characters you agree with and characters you don't. He then provided examples. Daredevil has always been the bleeding heart liberal. Frank Castle has always been the direct opposite. You can argue about Batman's politics or Ben Grimm's politics, but in the end, it's about escapist fiction, Dixon included.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, people love Dixon.
Yeah.
Though, funnily enough, I actually have an interesting thing on that whole subject you were talking about, Gizmo. So, current voice actor for characters like Aku or Ira Greg Baldwin, who took over for Mako Iwamatsu after his untimely passing during the middle of Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2. He decided to say that Avatar: The Last Airbender was always woke, when I'm like, where? Or my guy? It was about a group waiting for it was about people who have suffered for 100 years waiting for a savior to come and save them.
And then they say that a hero could save us. Not gonna stand here and wait. Hold on to the wings of the eagles.
And the fact that he's acting like Mako Iwamatsu would have been like this huge activist, that would have been exactly like him. I'm like, you disgrace Mako Iwamatsu with every single post you make about this. is you were never hired because of your talent, but rather because of your ability to imitate Mako's voice, which, by the way, his impression was never that good. It was always, It just sounded so phony, if you get what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Like-
one of those things where it's close enough, but you can definitely tell that it's an impression, not the actual voice, you know?
Yeah, and it's very.
It's like going.
Yeah, and
So it's like going from early Dragon Ball Z, in like the Ocean dub to going to the Funimation dub, and like you can hear, okay, these guys are doing a bad impression of the characters. They haven't quite come into their own yet, you know?
You know, funnily enough, Vic Mignogna had pointed out during his Broly story that Chris Sabat used to sound a lot like him. And back in the day,
Yeah.
But because of yelling and screaming so much in Dragon Ball, that's how his voice just ended up turning into Piccolo.
Yeah, his voice kind of wound up down here over the years because, he just did so many deep voices and screams and vocal shredding stuff. He just dropped his voice over the years, like more so than you'd think it would. But yeah.
And yeah, it's just like, and of course Greg Baldwin decided to block me like a petulant child, to which I'm like, laughs in Aku.
Bowls.
One of the Baldwin brothers being a fucking cunt. Oh,
Must be
is he?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Might as well have
Is he
one.
related? Is he related to the Baldwin brothers, or is he just
Bowls.
somebody else?
It's probably just a case of last names the same.
Yeah, kind of like Adam Baldwin, and where they're. I think they might be distantly
Adam
related, but they're not.
Adam Baldwin is absolutely based.
Yeah.
He may not be that good as Superman or Hal Jordan, but he is you know.
Listen,
That
that was the voice direction on that fucking movie, because dear God,
Nobody
sounded good there.
And to think that was the first movie we ever did a commentary on, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, we're gonna have to go back and do that one at some point, aren't we?
Speaking of, I still have Justice League Ruby Part 2.
Oh yeah, we gotta.
Sorry, I felt quite a bit of agony on that one. Also, I believe we ended up losing the English dub voice for Meramon in Digimon.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh.
By the way, Gizmo, ask Bender what a good time for us to do that with him would be, because then we can.
And Alex, I think at some point I'm gonna need to have that discussion with you about on my PC regarding OBS, because it is just not.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. We're probably gonna have to reinstall your video drivers, because it looks like something is deeply fucked up with your hardware setup. Especially if it's not doing something that it was able to do previously.
I mean,
oh, look at that! Blizzard's mutating even more.
I mean, it's still streaming on my end. And mine and Gizmo's videos are coming out well. It's just your video isn't showing up.
Huh. Well, we'll have to work on that.
And so it was just like. So it's like
Probably could have gotten in
so
without
like
breaking down the door, Peter.
From so the initial news was like first I saw someone post like a picture of Meramon on himself, all saying that the voice actor passed away, and then Townsend Coleman's post confirmed it, and I'm like, oh jeez, that's yet another original Digimon voice actor we've lost among. The dub is starting to become even just as depressing as the sub.
Well, in slightly happier news, it's the 25th anniversary of Half-Life, or relatively close to the 25th anniversary of Half-Life, and in distinct contrast to Naughty Dog, Valve has made Half-Life free for a limited time, but still free, and has also made an update to the game, including new content, a documentary about the making of the game, and a bunch of other cool shit.
And this is for what game?
Half-Life.
Half-Life.
Oh, interesting.
By the way,
You know,
Alex,
Orange Nerd Crowbar.
By the way, Alex, I still can't get... Whenever I think Half-Life now, all I can think is that one bit in YMS's review for The Lion King. I can't
Gordon,
hold
what
on
are you...
much longer. Or, shut up.
Yeah.
Ah!
Now
End
every
of the
time I hold a
line for
crowbar,
you.
Half-Life comes to mind.
I want an orange crowbar because of that game. I have no reason to... I have plenty of crowbars. I just specifically want an orange one with a lambda symbol on it.
Well, unfortunately, the news has to involve not an orange crowbar, but a Green Lantern. Comic book readers reject Alan Scott Green Lantern book by Tom Sheridan.
Oh no, an insecure comic writer just got his comic rejected by actual people who read the comics. Whatever shall we do?
Comic book readers chose not to purchase the Alan Scott Green Lantern comic book by writer Tim Sheridan, despite the author having begged his followers to purchase the book in order to spite Comicsgate. That was your first mistake. You brought up a gate movement.
Comicsgate has been incredibly successful as a movement of selling independent comics, largely because people kept demonizing it for basically no reason. And for another thing, Comicsgate hasn't been relevant in 4 or 5 years now.
But it's
Like,
always a
everybody,
people.
like the people who were involved with it, made their money and moved on. They sold their books. The books were pretty good. They're making sequels to the books, or they're making new books, or doing other stuff.
It's always if it's not Comicsgate, it's Gamergate. If it's not Gamergate, it's Metalgate.
Dude, Metalgate was so stupid. Metalgate wasn't even a fucking controversy. It was like it wasn't on the level of like Gamergate or Comicsgate or fucking
still,
torrential downpour or anything like that. And it was like
about shit and rock music that's been there from the beginning and it will still be there up until the end of time.
Well, it's like people will complain about people asking them, "Oh, what's your favorite album? What's your favorite song?" Blah blah blah. I was like, that's just conversation making. Like, that's the kind of thing. I see somebody wearing a band t-shirt, even if it's a band I don't know, I ask them what their favorite song by the band is, just because I feel like it'll start an interesting conversation. I saw a guy in a Gojira shirt once. He didn't even realize that it was a band t-shirt. He thought it was for Godzilla.
I mean, understandable.
By the way,
it literally has the name there.
Yeah.
By the way, Alex, so you know what's been one running gag between myself and Seamus when we were viewing Teen Titans on my channel?
What?
So anytime Seamus brings up the fact that Beast Boy just has the worst luck in the show, to which I'm like, being a Beast Boy fan is suffering. Just like being a Spider-Man fan is suffering.
Why are we here? Just to suffer?
No, here's the thing though. People love Beast Boy despite his bad luck.
Same with Spider-Man.
No, here's the thing. We can at least support Spider-Man by playing as him in fighting games and going through his adventures in single-player games. What does Beast Boy have except for the Teen Titans game?
You want to know the worst part? He was added to the Injustice 2 mobile game, and he plays, and he looks like shit.
I bet. It's a mobile
Everybody looks like shit in that game, though.
No,
It's
especially in the
game.
mobile.
It's a mobile game
yeah.
that's based off a console fighter. You really think it was going to be any good?
I don't have faith in mobile games, period, Gizmo.
No, here's the thing. You're trying out the wrong mobile games. It's one thing if you try out Flappy Bird, Fruit Ninja, Pokemon Go.
Oh,
Those are good mobile games, and since some of them, while
Gizmo, I
time
have
wasters, at least you can
legitimately
say
tried
the time of
out,
Hang on, you said Flappy Bird was a good mobile game?
hey, it gave it at least has an ending, and yes, it's a good.
You know,
game.
it is at least a game. It's not a
It's a game.
microtransaction nightmare.
Yeah,
So I'll give you that.
Fruit Ninja, Plants vs Zombies. You could argue Plants vs Zombies 2, Pokemon Go, the Monster Hunter game that just came out on mobile. You know, Pikmin Go. Those are good mobile games. What you're trying out are bastardized, half-assed ports of console games.
oh, I never tried those.
Well, speaking
You're
of
not
that,
being
though,
specific.
did you see that they ported Resident Evil 4 Remake to the fucking iPhone? Which reminds me of that time they put out Resident Evil 4 for the iPad.
They did. That was funny as
Yeah.
hell, man. That actually no, that was ambitious because at the time it was a new thing to be putting console
They put out-
like level
They
games
actually
on a
put
phone.
BioShock out on the
Oh yeah,
on the iPad.
I was impressed.
It actually wasn't. It was like running a PS2 version of the game, but it's still, well, you know. But
Yeah,
like,
was
it did make me
impressive they were able to do
wonder.
that.
It did make me wonder, like, why they didn't make a PS2 version of the game if they could make it run on the fucking iPad.
Dumbasses. Anyway, in the middle of October, Sheridan took to X. No, I'm not calling it that. Sheridan took
to Zitter.
to Twitter to beg his followers to purchase the book, saying, "I'm here to ask you a favor. The book comes out next DC Tuesday, October 24th, but already the haters and the queer phobes are out in force doing everything they can see that this book tanks. They use code and make it sound like they have legit problems with the book they haven't read yet. But the truth is they don't like that there is a queer hero in the upper ranks of the DCU. Oh, you mean the same hero that turned queer?
Well,
Might as well
got
not have a
turned
daughter.
queer by the fucking universe shift that they did.
The only way we can shut these people down is to make this book an undeniable success," he continued. "The only way to prove to the big publishers that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA+.
It's not authentic, though.
And that these stories are for everyone to buy the heck out of books like this."
The story was about him getting blackmailed into having gay sex with J. Edgar Hoover.
Sheridan went on. This one's only 6 issues, and each one has a few variants. So I'm asking if you have the means to buy them up, buy extras, give to people you think really need to read it. He then claimed that he would not pocket any additional profits from an assumed increase in sales from this pitch.
Okay, so that didn't work for Dread. That didn't work for I'm trying to remember. There've been a number of movie buying campaigns where people have like, hey, buy extra copies of like Dread so that we can and have more people know about it, so we might get a sequel. And people have been asking about this for years now, and people have been pushing this shit for years now. And like every Christmas, there's a big push for people to buy. People buy extra copies of Dread. People buy extra copies of all kinds of things, like all kinds of cult classic films.
The difference is Dread is actually a good movie. People love that
No.
movie.
Let me finish. That was a really good film, and that didn't work. Like, these grassroots campaigns sometimes just don't work, and turfing, as I like to call this, never works. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. You really thought this would help? Go fuck yourself. Trying to push your stupid fucking comics.
He continues, and you might say this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle in royalties. Well, no, I won't make a penny because every single royalty I receive from these 6 issues will go straight to a charity that is very important to me, and I have support for a long time. The Elton John AIDS Foundation, which works to prevent HIV stigma? Prevent HIV stigma, not cure HIV, and provide compassionate care for all communities. I'm asking you to join the core, he begged. If you care about
care is great. Stigma is another thing entirely, because these days people generally know that you can't catch AIDS just by being in the same room with somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So, like,
That's
this
common
is a
sense at
battle
this
that's
point.
already won.
Yeah.
That's common sense at this point. You know, everyone knows that you can't just get
Like, it has to be-
AIDS from touching
Yeah, it
a
has to be
person.
like blood or mucosal, semen contact, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be.
Mucus contact and blood contact.
Well, it can't be like, when I say mucosal contact, I mean mucous membranes, not stuff like contact between not like
Yeah, I know
boogers.
that.
There's like mucosal membrane and stuff of like, and we have drugs that can prevent the spread of AIDS if it's caught early enough. You know, within the first week. You know. Like, if you know you were exposed to AIDS within like the first 72 hours, I think it is, because they can completely undo it with the right drugs, or like within the week they can make sure that it doesn't become like full-blown AIDS. And if I remember correctly, don't quote me on any of this. This is just what I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Like, there's been a lot of progress made in this regard, and you can, make, helping, make sure that there's good care for this stuff. That's great, but trying to like prevent stigma. That sounds like the Susan G. Komen Foundation, where they're like raising awareness for breast cancer research and things like that, as opposed to, like actually funding breast cancer research, which the Komen Foundation doesn't fucking do.
Odd.
Yeah.
He continues, I'm asking you to join the Corps, he begged. If you care about truth and justice, about shining a light in the darkness, if you think comics are...
What about the American way?
Yeah, right. If you think comics are and should continue to be for everyone, or if you just want to force these comic skate trolls, there he goes again. Under the bridge they crawled out from, please support our book and send a message that the bullying and the lies and the hate have to stop, he said. Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics. Everyone needs allies.
No.
And if you're an ally, now is the
Adolf
time to
Hitler
step
does
up.
not deserve to see himself in comics.
No.
We outnumber them, so let's pull our power, vote with our wallets, and beat these assholes. Okay, I'll vote with my wallet.
Although ironically, Hitler has quite a lot of representation in comics as a primary villain for a number of characters.
Oof. Add as many of these 4 variant covers for Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, to your pull list today. Pick them up in store next week, Tuesday the 24th. Thank you so much, he concluded. As Sheridan noted, the book released on October 24th, and according to ICV2's Comic Hub system, the book failed to break into the top 50 most sold comic books by a units list. It also failed to break into the top 50 most sold comics by dollars list. The Comic Hub system for the month of October tracked sales from over 125 stores, and it is not a random sample of over 3,000 stores selling American comics worldwide. To reiterate, the book did not chart at all. Rival comic book creator John Del Rose and Bounty into Comics contributor John Del Rose commented on the book not showing up on the Comic Hub system list, saying, it's not in the top 50s. So if it's not in the top 50 of books, that means the sales of it are absolutely atrocious. People were not picking this up. He added, it's not selling, it's just not there. So this is a huge destructive loss for DC Comics once again, as they're trying to push the agenda everywhere they go, yet nobody wants it. Not only did the book fail to chart on the Comic Hub system, but the book is ranked 25,763 in the Kindle store and number 170 for superhero comics and graphic novels. Clearly, comic book readers were not interested in the sodomy-filled Alan Scott Green Lantern #1.
You really didn't have to mention that, but yeah.
What?
Considering it is a major plot point of the comic,
I
suppose
about the
the sodomy thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess not, but it was there.
Well, the fact that it was a plot point at all, like superhero sex lives, I kind of don't give a shit about. I'm here for like superheroics
Rule
and things
34.
like that. So if you're gonna have like sex as like a major part of the comic, at least have it be something that
Pulled out.
matters.
I think if it's handled in a tasteful way, no matter how lewd or no matter how lewd, as long as it's within good taste, I could care less as long as they do that. You know what I mean? Like if they could have like she could have like the most like revealing of clothing, or she could be the most shyest of girls. I could care less how slutty or sheltered she is when it comes to sex, as long as it's tastefully done, written well, and drawn well for that matter. I don't really care. Sort of like how
I mean, even okay, so The Boys has kind of got like sex as a central aspect of it.
Oh, that I don't mind, but that's for like villains. They
in the
did
terms
it
of
way
in the terms of like Homelander raped Becca Butcher, right? Like everybody knows this.
Everyone knows that.
Like that's one of the central plot points of the entire series. Is in like it's well revealed in the TV show, but it's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things that is explained in terms of the in the comic and whatnot, but so
I was talking more like the positive side of it, or
no, I'm just saying like
the normalcy of it.
You can have stuff like that in there, or you don't have to make it completely sexless. It's just that like people put too much emphasis on the romantic angles. People put too much emphasis on the sexual angles. People put too much emphasis on the non-superhero side of superhero comics all the goddamn time. And Kevin knows that I complain about this shit. Kevin knows that I complain about this shit endlessly when it was in fucking Young Justice, when they had all this goddamn garbage where her like caught up in interpersonal relationship nonsense instead of us talking about the alien invasion that's happening or some other shit.
Just so you know, the original Young Justice comics only had one couple, and that was Superboy and Wonder Girl. Mm-hmm. Nothing for Impulse, nothing for Arrowette, nothing for Secret, nothing for anybody in the team. It was just Superboy and Cassie, and that was it. Here, on the other hand, everybody's getting a girl. It was like Oprah was just handing them out.
You get a girlfriend, and you get a girlfriend, and you get a girlfriend, and you get a girlfriend. Gar gets a temporary girlfriend who also happens to be of royalty, and they break up because Gar is way too stubborn to get at goddamn therapy when everybody and their mothers are telling him to.
Yeah, like. But that entire plot line was hot fucking garbage anyway.
Even then, though, he had a girlfriend too. Like, he was part of the team. Everybody had a girlfriend. Even the guy from the future that had a girlfriend. Okay, Impulse, I get it.
Impulse didn't have a girlfriend in Young Justice, the TV show. Gizmo?
Oh, I'm thinking of Wally. Okay.
Yeah, Wally, you're thinking of. And which, by the way, Wally's not paired up with his canonical romantic interest. He is paired up with Artemis Croc, a.k.a. Tigress.
Better Wally.
They fucked that up, too, because Wally got fucking killed.
A better Wally be with Artemis than having, CW Barry end up with fucking CW fucking Iris. We're the Flash. Fuck you.
Which, by the way, a Artemis in season 4 off screen that's a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing.
It was part of Artemis's plot arc in that season. And that was after Superboy, quote-unquote, died. Yep, Superboy is definitely dead this time. We'll definitely get him out of my show.
It was one of those technically he's dead kind of things.
He was in the Phantom Zone.
No, he got sent to the Phantom Zone.
Because Phantom Girl teleported him there. Because and even though that's not how her powers work at all, her powers literally are pretty much the same as anybody else with selective intangibility.
I go back to that same line from The Princess Bride. Oh, is he dead? No, mostly dead. There's a difference.
See, I thought you were going to go back to the... You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I still find it hilarious that the actor who plays Inigo Montoya faked that accent.
That sounded legit.
Yeah. Oh, he is... Oh, dude. Mandy Patinkin is one of the greats. He's been in all kinds of shit, and he's always great in it. And he was in the original Broadway production of Evita.
Huh.
Yeah. Like the man can sing, the man can dance, the man can act.
The man could summon Exodia.
Yeah.
Bruh.
He was in the show Criminal Minds, and he actually left that show because the whack-ass shit that was going on was a little too intense for him. He was like, I kind of want to have some happy thoughts.
I mean, can't blame him.
Yeah.
Speaking of happy thoughts, Netflix's One Piece live-action showrunner Steven Maeda expresses interest in developing Spy X Family live-action adaptation.
No.
I think he could do it.
As
But at the same...
As Netflix continues to invest in anime to live-action adaptations, including new seasons for Alice in Borderland and One Piece, it seems the latter showrunner Steve Maeda wants to translate Tatsuya Endo's Spy X Family manga into live action. Set in a Cold War-esque period of counterintelligence warfare and intelligence-hungry subterfuge, the adaptation of Tatsuya Endo's Spy X Family follows Twilight, a highly skilled spy for the Westala agency whose latest assignment is to spy on the leader of the neighboring Ostania nation. In order to even get close to okay, so this is the plot. The One Piece showrunner revealed that he's been actively pursuing an opportunity to helm a live-action adaptation of Tatsuya Endo's best-selling manga while speaking to comicbook.com. I love Spy X Family so much, Maeda told the outlet. It's just wonderful. It's funny you mentioned that one. I've been chasing Spy Family for a while. Despite his desire to tackle a Spy X Family live-action adaptation, the Helix showrunner admitted the difficult obstacle faced translating anime and manga to live-action. I think there are so many wonderful stories, Maeda acknowledged. It's just been, I think, difficult getting the crossover. Anime really is such wonderful source material. There are so many great manga and anime titles out there that tell these wonderful stories, and they just haven't been tapped yet. And so not every underlying piece of material needs a live action, he added, but boy, it would be amazing to see some of them. While a Spy X Family live action adaptation may not be in the works, Netflix has expanded its library with anime live action adaptations, including the beloved Kingdom and Rurouni Kenshin films. Netflix also currently has several live action adaptations in the works, including Yu Yu Hakusho and a new adaptation of Death Note.
Yu Yu Hakusho is gonna suck.
Ready. We already have a perfect adaptation of Death Note. It's called The Anime. Go watch it.
Yeah, and we already had a really good adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho called the 2002 anime done by Studio Pierrot.
We also had a really...
Here's the thing about Death Note. They're getting the Stranger Things creators behind Death Note.
What?
We don't care.
Yeah.
We already had a pretty good live-action one, too. It was called the Death Note movie trilogy.
A new adaptation of Death Note from Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers.
I like the Duffer Brothers' work. I don't necessarily know that I trust them with Death Note, but here's the thing: Death Note is a 2-season show. You can't make that go on for more than 2 seasons without having, and just based on the amount of content that we had available to us from the manga. You can't have that go on for much longer or without it becoming strained. Granted, the live action movies you know, they cut way too much out, and you know, the Netflix movie was hot fucking garbage. I like the director, or I like to think that if we talked again, and he'd still like me. Hey, but you know, but let's be real here. That movie was not very good.
It was never a good idea.
Yeah, well,
The idea of it
fucking,
is kind of
fucking Light Turner, and they didn't get Gary Oldman to play his dad. The only fan casting they actually got for that movie was Willem Dafoe's Ryuk, and that was perfect. But you know,
yeah, that was the only good thing about that piece of shit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as tends to be the case with only good castings in otherwise bad productions, they're probably not going to bring him back. Even though, oh, you know, Kelsey Grammer's been writing the Beast Wagon for the last 20-some years now. Oh, good on him.
By
Get
the
that
way,
back,
by the way, Alex, so...
Peter, don't leave me behind.
So
the article continues. The second season of Spy X Family anime debuted on October 7th with the same day simulcast on Crunchyroll. In addition, the series movie Spy X Family Code White releases in Japanese theaters on December 22nd. So there's already another movie on its way.
Kevin, what were you saying?
So do you feel like... You know, I still find it funny how they're still gonna try to make a solo Beast Boy thing, but here's the issue. So I saw what would become of that upcoming Batman and animation and with him and Damian, and I'm like, yeah, no. If this is gonna be the same studio that's gonna do the Beast
Christmas
Boy
thing they're working on,
if this is gonna be the same studio that does the Beast Boy Lone Wolf thing, I don't want it. Excuse me, small little baby. Yeetus.
There is some good news about Spy X Family, though. There is some good news about Spy X Family. The movie Code White is going to be in North American theaters next year. According to Spy X Family official website, the Tatsuya Endo written original standalone story of Code White features the series plot. Fuck off. Tell me when it's being released.
You know, it'd be so much easier if we could come up with a different name for you, Miles, because us both being Spider-Man is not going to work. It's really irritating.
Alex, I feel like that's going to be a plot point at some point.
Oh.
Speaking of melanin-filled characters, Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, Yoruichi casting snafu exposes identity politics chokehold on the Western entertainment industry as aspiring voice actors rush to defend race-based casting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ProZD had that whole thing about this shit.
Which, by the way, Karma hit him like a semi-truck.
Yeah. Now allow me to quote Vic Mignogna here when I say it's all about acting with your voice.
So then why the fuck would you care if a white guy is voice acting a black guy and vice versa?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm quoting Vic Mignogna here.
Yep.
Vic Mignogna, well known for being based.
He's always based.
Yeah.
Article begins, Viz Media's recent kerfuffle surrounding the role of Yoruichi in Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War continues to expose just how deep the ideology of identity politics runs in the Western voice acting business, as not only was the ninja's recasting met with accusations of racism by established VAs, but it also prompted those aspiring to one day join the industry to defend their seniors' race-based ideologies. Take, for example, indie voice actor Karen Kumar taking to Twitter on October 23rd in the wake of Wendy Lee's being brought back to a role of Yoruichi over her replacement, Anaris
Quinones.
It's who?
Bless you.
Thank you. Anaris Quinoa, I don't care. Kumar claimed that in an ideal world, I don't care because she's a bitch. In an ideal world where any voice actor could play any character of any race, but we're not in an ideal world. White voice actors have played both white characters and characters of other races for years, while people of color actors just got whatever was left. Proceeding
Right,
to
it's not like a black guy was the voice of Samurai Jack or anything.
Or a black
Right.
guy was the voice of Aquaman.
Or a black guy.
Or a black guy was the
That was
voice
the voice.
of white guy Mammoth. It's from Teen
Or-
Titans.
Or,
Yeah, it was
Or a
good
black
take.
guy was the voice of the Joker once upon a time.
Yeah, I was gonna say there
or
have been
how,
a lot of
white woman, or how one woman was the voice of most of your favorite child characters in your childhood. Timmy Turner.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a thing. Like I'm not a green alien, but I'd like to play green aliens. You know, I like playing as people who ain't me.
I'm not a blonde
Oh,
boy.
into the Spider-Verse noir.
I'm not
Hell yeah.
a blonde boy who got turned into a green guy because of an experimental
unlocked-
serum. But I would want to.
You have unlocked film-style animation and comic SFX, which can now be activated for any unlocked suit. You can find the... Oh, I got the shitty homemade suit from No Way Home, or from the Home trilogy. Oh, I got Spider-Punk. I like Spider-Punk.
Except for all the parts where he sucks.
Yeah, but Hobie's cool.
Except for when he's not.
I don't believe in consistency.
Truer words have never been spoken. Okay. I still find it hilariously absurd how some idiot on Twitter had claimed like, oh, Beast Boy's totes black. Oates has black energy. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm like, he was Caucasian.
Well, I can, because what are you talking about?
He was a white guy before he got turned green.
Mm-hmm.
I know this because I have done this thing called reading comics. Unlike some of these weirdos. Those who think they know better.
Mm.
And then it's and it's like the only black member of the Teen Titans on the main 5 team in the 03 series is Cyborg. And you know, he's Cyborg. Not much else I need to say about that. And now do I?
Article continues. Proceeding to pen a lengthy thread in defense of the practice, Kumar would eventually summarize of his argument: is X race actor to X race character a perfect solution? No. In an imperfect world, it's an imperfect solution that's far superior to the previous practice in terms of promoting equity.
We're not here to promote equity. We're here to promote truth, justice, in the American way.
We're here
Even so, implementation has been something patchy. Kumar then explicitly admitted that race-based casting was rooted in hypocrisy, positing to that does not sound like a real word. Positing to himself a hypothetical question, but Kieran, shouldn't POC actors then be barred from playing white actors? Before answering no, because the goal is equity. And even when, say, a Mexican actor plays a white character, white actors will have the lion's share of roles proportionally, he added. No one is defined solely by their race, he then asserted, but race plays a part, and the fact is, all other things being equal, white folks have more opportunities than folks of color, sure.
Race will always play a part if you're making things about race. The more you make things about race, the more race is going to play a part. You could take a page out of Morgan Freeman's book and say, hey, I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and you're going to stop calling me a black man, and that's how we're going to solve this. I'm a man. You're a man. That's where this ends. Although even that's apparently up for debate these days.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
Right? So then how do we teach people to stop talking about it? Likewise, Shakira Dunn angrily espoused, I'm saying it. I don't care. Wendy Lee coming back to be Yoruichi and replacing Aneiris as a slap in the face to all PLC voice actors. It's a kick in the teeth, and it 100% proves people would rather have bigotry and racism and baseless criticism be better than what's deserved. Yeah, okay,
Oh,
sure, buddy.
so you would rather replace a well-established actress who has played the character since the original 2004 anime over or some
Complete unknown who fucking sucks.
Yeah, and Seamus
that
was
was
trying
good.
to Seamus did try to say like oh, it's not that bad. And I'm like, oh, Seamus.
It's not that good either. Let's if we're gonna be
Most
honest
recent
here,
example-
like, yeah, there could be worse, but
You
there
know the
was a
most
better
recent
one.
example? You know a most recent example of that? I do. Young Yeah.
Yeah, as
Yakuza.
fucking Kiryu, Kazuma Kiryu.
Oh,
Bad
God,
fucking choice.
He was.
And isn't Yonya Korean?
Could have sworn.
Is he?
Yonya is Korean, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like
He
that's
can't really.
You know what?
that's
know-
a little bit fucking sus, isn't it?
You know what could have been better? They could have had Alex Lee, who is also an Asian actor, or play a Kazuma Kiryu, and he actually has as a voice that could go to lower register. Or
Without completely fucking it up like fucking Yonya did.
Yeah, as Shinji Hirako on the 1,000-Year Blood War anime, he sounds at least close enough to Roger Craig Smith. To which I'm like, good. But that's actually great. Hey, he does a great job as Shinji. And he's also Ukitake taking over for Liam O'Brien, and who is a union-only actor.
She continues. It's bullshit, she continued. I'm so angry and irritated by it. I don't believe in the concept of the right talent for the job because you had the right talent. You chose correctly letting a POC play a POC, one that suited even more so, and you chose to sink down and cave. Echoing their peers and retweeting Dunn, Gail Rivera decried for anyone who is out here with the "we just want the legacy cast" defense. There were so many other recasts that happened that you didn't do this shit for, and you went for the black woman. Realize the yikes.
Well, gee, it's almost like we wanted Vic Mignogna to come back as Ikaku Madarame, but guess what?
You fuckers made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, so we can't even have that. We
Peter,
wanted to have at least something. And if we
Peter,
couldn't have,
please,
if we couldn't have Vic Mignogna back as Ikaku, we wanted to at least have something.
Realize the yikes you put yourself in, he added, offering no specific examples of
why are you
similar
using that
recastings.
kind of terminology? That's fucking stupid. Realize the yikes you put yourself in, and nobody's gonna take you seriously if you're using this kind of terminology.
Well, you know how they are. They use any terminology that sounds trendy. Realize the yikes you put yourself in, he added, offering no specific examples of any such similar recastings of back up their argument. Black people have a right to be pissed. This is a Japanese character, though. Suffice to say, barring a major cultural shift in the coming years, this self-defeating trend of race-based casting will only continue to flourish within the Western entertainment industry, and in my opinion, only in the Western entertainment industry. That last part was literally me saying my actual thoughts. Report: HBO and Max executives, creator army of trolls. Okay. Let me.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week.
Okay. Did we also talk about how he admits and apologizes for using the accounts?
Yeah.
It was a clusterfuck last week. You have to understand.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. She-Hulk Insider blames series half-baked scripts and VFX issues on Kevin Feige's lack of pre-production oversight, and they show a big picture of She-Hulk staring at
Yeah.
While the last few months have seen many an argument over which party was specifically responsible for the abysmal quality of the Jade Giantess since the solo series, a Marvel insider has claimed that at the end of the day, the buck for She-Hulk Attorney at Law stops squarely with the studio's baseball cap-clad boss, Kevin Feige. This aligned insight into She-Hulk's behind-the-scenes failings was first brought to light by Variety's Tatiana Siegel, who herself has spoken to a number of company insiders as part of a November 1st deep dive into the Marvel Cinematic Universe's ongoing financial downfall. Amidst the discussion of the numerous issues currently facing the franchise, which include a lack of interest in the Marvels to a general uncertainty regarding Jonathan Majors' future as Kang the Conqueror, and thus the entirety of their plans for the current in-progress multiverse saga, Siegel eventually turned to highlight Marvel's very, very apparent VFX woes. To this end, Siegel then revealed that after seeing the reception to the slapdash state in which Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania hit theaters, all blame for the franchise's decaying visuals quality eventually came to rest on the studio's now former president of physical post-production VFX and animation, Victoria Alonso, which in turn led to her April 2023 firing. While the reason cited for her abrupt firing was her unauthorized role as an executive producer on the Oscar-nominated films Argentina 1985, insiders say Disney has incensed, that doesn't sound like a real word, that quality control. I know a lot of these words are real, it's just a lot of them don't. That insiders say Disney was incensed that quality control on its Marvel productions was plummeting, particularly on the ever-expanding TV front. Wrote Siegel. The VFX logjam has been evident for some time, with some final effects for such Disney Plus series as WandaVision and She-Hulk Attorney at Law inserted after their streaming debut. That Alonso was busy promoting her art house project while Rome Burned uncertainly didn't sit well with Disney's leadership. However, it seems some Marvel employees believe that Alonso was merely being used as a scapegoat for the studio's own incompetence. Specifically citing She-Hulk's lack of visual polish, a number of Siegels argued that the series' VFX issues are a symptom of a deeper rot, namely a lack of oversight on script development. In backing up their claim, said sources recalled how, in She-Hulk's original outline, Jennifer's origin was not shown on screen until the series' second episode. On screen until the series' second to last episode. Okay. However, after watching the initial cut, Marvel's higher-ups, Feige included, realized that this delayed explanation as to how the series' protagonist got her powers were confused rather than excite its viewers. As such, the series was sent back to its VFX team, who were then instructed to do what they could to salvage the She-Hulk's narrative in post-production. Per one specific source was involved with She-Hulk, the so-called bad VFX we see was because of half-baked scripts. It's not Victoria, that is Kevin. And even above Kevin, they added, those issues should be addressed in pre-production. The timeline is not allowing the Marvel executives to sit with the material. Notably, the claim that Feige is no longer giving proper credence to the MCU's production process has lent credence by his previous backing and praise of the She-Hulk series' entire existence. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly in February, Feige asserted the She-Hulk, for example, was an experiment. Let's just do a legal comedy. What if Ally McBeal was a superhero? How do we do a legal sitcom with an incredibly expensive CG character in the middle of every episode? And I couldn't be happier with the tone that Jessica Gao has set for that. It's a very different tone that many of other projects have yet, and that was totally intentional. But was it good?
I'm sorry if my yelling has put off some people.
So let me just go ahead and reply to what Gizmo was saying. So, one of the things that has allowed Zack Snyder to produce such consistently good visuals throughout his career is that he has plans that he makes ahead of time. He communicates those plans to his visual effects teams, and they don't change a whole lot from start to finish. You work on what's going to happen in the film ahead of time, and then you can, get things started developing. They get the models in place for CGI, and, they get previs in place, and then you don't change a whole lot from previs to final product, And that makes things easier. Like, if you want a textbook case of things changing dramatically during production, fucking up the quality of the production, you can either look at, say, Justice League or Cats. Both of those films had major changes happen during production, which led to inconsistent at best visual effects. And a lot of hot fucking garbage went into that. And so, there's also, we can talk about how Ant-Man and the Wasp had a bunch of reshoots happen, and that changed the ending, and changed this and that. There's a lot of shit in like Marvel and Disney films. Like, we can look at, that was Godzilla. We can look at, for instance, Maleficent. Maleficent has a lot of really bad visual effects work because they kept changing things. If you look at Spider-Man No Way Home, even as good as that movie was, they had a bunch of stuff change between on-set shots and stuff that they finished and got made into the film. They redid practical effects work as CG, and they'd been doing that as far back as Spider-Man Homecoming and Captain America Civil War and things like that. Had Captain America Civil War redid Spider-Man's practical on-set suit. You must dodge when you see the blue warning for a crush attack. Why do we need more fucking gimmicks? The combat was fine in the
Why do you think
I'm
not a big fan of aspects of this game? Because I'm just like, you don't need a parry mechanic. You don't need new attack mechanics. You just need to fucking dodge.
Fucking.
I dodged, motherfucker.
I'm sorry I've been yelling a lot on stream lately. It's just...
Oh, God damn it, Peter.
Oh yeah, Jedi responded. He wants to ask when you want it.
Oh, like, we can do that whenever. Like just whenever we have an opportunity. Yeah, I just want to... Like, maybe we could do one, like, an early afternoon stream on that.
What are you guys plotting?
Justice League versus Ruby 2.
Oh, God. I don't want to do that.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's just that we, I want us, like, at the very least, the three of us
Alex,
being, like, me, Bender, and,
Alex, I've watched the first part of that piece of shit. I have an obligation.
Yeah.
More bad news. Well, there is some good news, though. J.J. Abrams' race-swapped Constantine series is reportedly dead.
What about the gender-swapped Constantine they had in the Netflix show?
No, this would have been a race-swapped Constantine series.
Just get Matt Ryan back!
A new report claims that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot Productions previously announced Constantine series is dead.
I would have thought that everything that he did that he was going to do for DC is dead, considering he went back to Disney.
Back in 2021, it was reported by Deadline that Abrams and his Bad Robot production company has tapped writer Guy Bolton to write a series that was expected to stream on the then Abrams. In that report, it was detailed by Peter White that the character is set to be cast as a diverse lead, a departure from the one played by Matt Ryan in the NBC series, which aired for one season between 2014 and 2015. Not only would it be a departure from
one of the best
NBC
DC movies,
series,
DC shows they ever made, and it was fucking canceled, and they didn't pick it up on the CW.
should have been like an adult rated show at least, with the shit that Constantine had to deal with.
Well, yeah, but it was good for what we got.
Yeah.
And they didn't pull a lot of punches, thankfully.
No. Not only would it be a departure from the NBC series, it would be a departure from the original Vertigo comics. A day before White's report, a rumor from the Lumen Nerd detailed the production is currently searching for an actor for the role, with the hopes of casting a BIPOC POC actor in their late 20s, similar to a young Riz Ahmed. In April 2022, the outlet reported that Abrams and HBO Max were looking to cast British actor Sope Derisu to play Constantine, they stated. According to our sources, Warner Brothers is circling Sope Derisu to play John Constantine in the new HBO Max series. Fuck off. Knight's Edge Media also claimed to reveal a logline for the series. Read, the series blends urban action, body horror, and the supernatural on the streets of modern-day London. It follows a young man whose entire world is upended when a chance encounter with a young girl pulls him into the dark and treacherous world of the occult. Furthermore, they noted that the production was looking for a 10-year-old female girl of Cambodian heritage to play the role of a character codenamed Akara, which the outlet speculated could be Astra, also known as Astrid, from the original comics. In September 2022, White reported that HBO Max had passed on both the Constantine series as well as the live-action Madame Xanadu series with Angela Robinson attached. At the time, White detailed that while HBO Max passed on both series, they would be dropped by the studio to other platforms. Now, a new report from Variety detailed that the series is officially dead. Good! Zach Sharf reports a new Constantine series for Max by J.J. Abrams.
Now I have to defeat the lizard again.
Bad Robot Productions had been in development when news hit of Reeves' potential return for a movie sequel. The new show had been far enough into development that a lead actor was already in talks to take on the lead role. But sources confirmed to Variety that the Max project was dead. He added 4 scripts were written for the series, which was sent in contemporary London.
But the Constantine's best adventures weren't in London.
Yeah.
Most of them, no.
Do I look like
There's
Benedict
a reason.
Bloody Cumberbatch?
There's a reason the TV show was set in New Orleans. Hell, wasn't there talk of there being like a crossover film between the Matt Ryan Constantine and the one from the Keanu Reeves film?
Maybe.
Just imagine if the two of them suddenly end up in an animated universe and they're just like...
John Constantine is already in animated kid shows to begin with, so that wouldn't be a surprise.
I was more talking like imagine if suddenly DCAMU if the live action Constantine turned into DCAMU Constantine, and then they'd just be like, and then an animated Keanu Reeves is just animated Keanu Reeves. Come on,
that's like his model from like Bill and Ted.
Yeah. They'd be like, let's get out of here. Yeah, I agree.
I hit the Harry.
Let me
Peter,
guess.
please.
Let me guess. You. And I am stressing in the you part of this sentence. Hit. And I hit the button. And...
nothing occurred.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that. Did you get to when Peter says, no wonder your family left you?
Kind of.
Oh my god, that is so out of pocket. Like, what the fuck, Peter? Like, I get it that the symbiote's doing this thing, but come on. We're not even...
Here's some more good news. Gina Carano weighs in on South Park joining the Pandaverse, reveals Disney asked her to unfollow certain accounts because they said bad things about Kathleen Kennedy.
No, I would quit. I would tell them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I would tell them.
Was pushing the.
I would tell them flat out, kiss my ass. I'm done.
Given
Son
her
of
own,
a bitch.
given her
kiss
own
my
personal history
ass.
with the company and its notorious producer, the actress Gina Carano has thoughts on the South Park joining the Pandiverse special and its criticisms of Disney and Kathleen Kennedy's ruinous obsession with identity politics, offering a rare criticism of the House of Mouse's ongoing creative implosion. Joining the Pandiverse begins with Cartman finding himself plagued with nightmares in which he and the rest of South Park citizens, for no reason and with no explanation, have suddenly been replaced by diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. The last time I had a
Listeners
dream,
Week
I was
Against
walking down
Webs.
the
Thank you,
hallway,
game. I'm
and then I see-
aware of this. I'm trying to get enough of health back. Oh my god.
The last time I had the dream, I was walking down the school hallway, and then I see Butters, Cartman recounts to a therapist, and that's when I began to notice that something's wrong. Everyone I cared about has been systematically replaced. And finally, I want to scream, and I'm like, why are they replacing every single character with someone who's diverse? But then, yeah, they're basically reading off what Cartman has said about, like, you know, like the Paniverse. Talking about how Kathleen Kennedy in the show actually meets up with an alternate version of herself that's trying to pander to everyone.
Oh, and by the way, in case some people are wondering, why do I feel the need to gather 100 coins in each of these stages? The answer is simple. Well, I must, because I am trying to 100% this bitch.
Grabbed you up. Game says no.
Okay, so... Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
So the Seamus has told me that Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections had recycled Vic Mignogna's voice clips for Nagato and Young Obito.
Huh.
Which I'm like, well, there's at least one franchise that's willing to keep Vic around. And unfortunately, it's not one I'm particularly fond of.
Well, when you've already got work done, it doesn't make any sense to have to redo that work. Which is something that Kevin Feige should probably learn from.
Vic even pointed this out when he was talking about his Broly story, because there's been so many video games out there with the same repetitive dialogue that why don't you just you know...
It's like, can we please make me suffer a little bit less?
But they're like, no, the Japanese side of things didn't do this. I'm like, I have seen...
Sometimes they do.
Yeah, I've seen Golden Age Arc Memorial Edition in both English and Japanese. Guess what? The Japanese have recycled their voice clips.
Game, it's not like I'm not doing that.
I'm not joking.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi.
Thank you, game.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Tenkaichi 2 recycled voice clips from Tenkaichi 1 when they could.
I know. That's why I said those two.
And the weird thing is that Budokai 3 didn't recycle any voice clips from Budokai 1 or 2. So it's like, I get your point, Gizmo. It's just it's just...
There we go.
It's not...
Well, unless there's another stage to this fucking boss fight.
Is Peter injecting the serum into him?
Yeah, Oh, yeah. And now he's been grabbed by Godzilla.
Oh, looks like you got another phase, Alex.
Am I gonna have to ride this guy like a fucking dinosaur?
You'd be like a dinosaur rides a ball.
Oh, here you go. Retweeting a clip of the scene which no question that Kennedy's story was the best explanation I've heard as to why Disney movies all suck now. As shared by the nerds news outlet Geeks and Gamers, Carano declared, "This is what the part where KK demands any YouTuber gets censored off of YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disabled the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive. Then she'll have her publicist Ghouls make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about the South Park creators and their families, smearing their names through every useful idiot she has
How
under
is
her
this
thumb."
woman not
Who would
fired
tell her
or imprisoned? Because this is
to
outright
work
criminal.
Necessarily
on
no.
the film.
Yeah, I
former-
don't necessarily know
said
that
the-
this is entirely criminal, but like,
She'll activate her online mob to repeat that the South Park creators are racist, bigot, transphobes, and demand the South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of. And finally, she'll demand
Peter.
they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in
was
the
that?
LGBT
Hang on, was that in the
community.
show?
No, this is a real tweet.
What the fuck?
I'll read it from the tweet itself since it has everything here. This is the part where KK demands any YouTubers get censored off of YouTube for sharing and laughing at this
God
hilarious
damn it.
episode. She'll have YouTube disabled the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive, and then she'll have her publicist Ghouls make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about the South Park creators and their families, smearing their names through every useful idiot she has under her thumb who would sell their soul to work for Lucasfilm. She'll activate her online mob to repeat that the South Park creators are racist, bigot, transphobes, and demand the South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of. And finally, she'll demand they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in the LGBTQ community Zoom call to sit there and listen of how badly they got their feelings hurt all over a little boop of South Park episode.
But Kathleen Kennedy is a straight
But
white
maybe,
woman.
maybe the jig is up. Unsurprisingly, while Carano's tweet was met with a wave of support and adulation from her fans, it also drew its fair share of criticism from her detractors. One such critique, though brief, came from the official Twitter account for the Around the Galaxy podcast, wherein its administrators informed their followers, in case you were wondering, Gina Carano has lost her goddamn mind. Not one to take such swings lying down, Carano in turn proceeded to lay into Star Wars-centric podcast, firing back. And here's the whole tweet. Do you always call a woman crazy just because she has more first-hand experience than you and says something you don't like or understand? Bit misogynistic, don't you think? Tisk tisk. Curious if your overlords pay you, or do y'all just go ahead and shove your whole head straight up their asses for free?
Mission failure, lizard
Ooh.
escape. Fuck you, game.
I'm guessing for free. Might want to come out for some fresh air. For some added context, not just for you, but for the people reading, one of the things your overlords asked me to do was to unfollow certain accounts because they, quote, said bad thing about Kathleen Kennedy, unquote. That was a huge red flag for me. If I were the head of one of the most powerful entertainment companies in the world, I would know that haters come with the territory and that maybe the haters are expressing their thoughts because they actually care, and caring is a good thing because as long as they care, well, hey, we still have something to work with. Maybe we can win their hearts back eventually, and maybe they do have some good things to add to the conversation, which they do and did. And at the very
Warning,
least,
lizard
they'll
is
find the
escaping
product.
when he's right in front of me and I can see him.
If you're a proper good leader, you learn how to embrace and communicate, not dictate in silence and demand your actors in decades. Side note, don't say the force is female and then allow only the men to express their political views online. In fact, just drop the ridiculous phrase completely, please. One of the problems your overlords are having now is that they've made a lot of people completely stop caring about one of the most beloved franchises in history, all by bullying, pushing aggressive agendas, and trying to silence the people criticizing them. How are they able to tell
shove it
stories
down
they
his
don't
throat?
understand? How are they able to tell stories they don't understand when the ones they identify with are the Empire? They're literally trying to squash the little guys, the rebellion. No wonder the storytelling is struggling. They fired and dehumanized people like me who did absolutely nothing wrong, all to virtue signal to people like you, the yes men. But yes men, unfortunately for you and them, do not drive culture. Maybe they were banking on the kids picking up the slack, but one of the best things about the franchise is passing it from generation to generation to share. The competition is too high to throw out something as valuable as that. Why would one generation pass it on when they're disrespected and thrown them away? Your overlords tried to hide behind the two opposing fan bases, hiding each other instead of taking fighting each other instead of taking responsibility. So they encourage the hate, all while virtual signaling they are standing up for minorities, but instead using them as a shield and weapon. Funny enough, just how our government works. They think people will forget, and yes, maybe they will, but for this moment...
Let's hope Peter Parker has a better job catching Dr. Connors than he did Gwen Stacy.
They have heard the people voice and it shook them. They're choosing to stick with their weak leadership who couldn't handle YouTubers saying mean things online when all it could have taken is true leader to step in. Take the reign, take some responsibility, stop discriminating, apologize about the things that have been done wrong, step completely out of politics, be truly inclusive, and they'd be back in business. Until then, they're stuck with you, and yes men and their plummeting stock. I'm not saying I'm right on all fronts, but I am open-hearted and refuse to discriminate based off of powerful people telling me how to think and act, and there was something I needed to apologize for, I would have in a heartbeat, but I didn't say or do anything wrong. Please come up to me daily to shake my hand and thank me for taking a stand, even people who think differently. One thing is true, good leadership makes for a better world, leading to a healthier, happier, and people and better opportunity. Look around, we are watching the devastating effects of what leadership can do worldwide.
Yeah, I remember.
So in related news at Disney, turns out that after Taika Waititi he exited Thor 5, Chris Hemsworth is open to returning. It's almost like the movies that he made were horrible and complete and utter.
Really? I thought Chris Hemsworth wouldn't be coming back because of a condition he has.
Yes, but apparently he like the production schedule, especially for how Taika Waititi made them, were just really bad, and there was a bunch of stuff of where he just didn't like working with the guy too.
And
Can't blame him.
And people will try to claim that Chris Hemsworth liked working with Waititi.
I mean, he liked working with him in terms of like being able to ad-lib and write his own jokes and stuff like that. But considering all the bullshit he put him through, regardless, like, come on. Oh yeah, I'm at the "no wonder your family left you" line.
I really don't think he's looking again, especially if...
that line is just so ridiculous.
Can he be careful though with the condition that he's in? I mean, you just find out
he's at higher risk for early onset dementia and things like that, and so he wants to try and spend more time with his family. But if they here's the thing, his daughter has been cast in a supporting role for the Thor films, so it's entirely possible that they could just
like 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably getting close to being done. There has been a lot to talk about.
Okay, so let me think.
Entertainment analysts criticizes South Park for not targeting Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios after it lampooned Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilms. I think they tackled enough for one day when it came to Disney. I think Kathleen Kennedy was enough for now.
Yeah, and another thing I want to add is like I still remember that one time when I made that post regarding that one person who got supposedly harassed on social media. I was like, oh, Lucasfilm, if only you had that same energy for Gina Carano.
Oof.
Oh, but then, of course, the hypocrites got on me saying like, oh, Gina's a bigot, she deserved it, blah, blah, blah.
Please.
Or even saying that even when I provided the screenshots that prove that she got harassed, as she was like, they were like, oh, those are bots.
Okay.
Totally.
You can never have
I mean, they're Disney bots if they are.
Yeah.
I mean, we now know that they can do that. I mean, we always knew that they could do that, but, you know, now it's official because HBO was doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
HBO is doing what now?
God damn it, Peter. Why? Yeah, so I'm probably gonna finish up with this battle here, and then we're gonna call it for the night.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something funny. Disney executives reportedly butthurt over South Park joining the Pandaverse special.
Yeah, we already went over that.
That's still funny though.
I know.
Like, even if I hadn't heard of that yet, that's really not new.
Please.
A lot of why are a lot of rich people so thin-skinned these days? They're even more thin-skinned than me.
Oh, here's something that's here's something that we need to know. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, I like that name already. Director clarifies game will feature the original scenario and script without any changes. Dev team fighting to the best of our ability against censorship.
Cool.
Seeking to put an end to the flurry of confusion regarding the title's upcoming
I
release
webbed up
on
your
our consoles, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop director Yoshimi Yasuda has definitively clarified that the title will be neither a remake or remaster, though it would have been nice, but rather a technical and graphical upgrade to the original game. The waters
Like a
surrounding
port, enhanced port, then.
the waters.
Are you gonna replace Tara Strong as the voice actress?
No, they're using the original voice.
Oh, they're using archive recordings, you said, Gizmo?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That actually saves them money, too.
Yep.
The waters surrounding Juliet's return to Zombie Slaying were first modeled by Yasuda himself on October 12th when the director took to his personal Twitter account to announce, "We have changed the game design of Repop from remake to remaster based on your requests."
Oh,
Who
shoot,
was
they
re-
got Friday on.
Who was requesting that? However, with the definition of these terms varying from developer to developer, rather than applause and support, Yasuda's tweet has met with confusion and requests for clarification as to how exactly Dragami Games was approaching the project. Seeking to bring an end to the confusion, Tajiro Yamanaka, a writer for the Japanese video game news outlet Automaton, reached out to Yasuda a few days later and directly asked him, "On your Twitter account, you posted that the game design of Repop has been changed from remake to remaster. But what exactly will change about the game?" In turn, the director asserted, "Though we haven't yet revealed the full details of Repop's game design due to my vague use of the words remake and remaster, there have been a lot of rumors and speculation arising, causing some confusion among fans. For this, I would like to apologize. I would also like to withdraw my previous statement in which I used the words remake and remaster to describe the game's contents." Moving to address Yamanaka's main question, he then confirmed, "Now regarding the scenario and script to Repop, we have decided to use the original Lollipop Chainsaw scenario and script without any changes. Up until now, we have been openly minded discussing the scenario, but we will not be making any additions or changes to it after all," said Yasuda. The original scenario's acclaim and the requests of fans were both reasons that went into the decision. On the other hand, we will be making improvements and adding new elements with the purpose of increasing the game's appeal. Pressed for details on the requests of fans had received, Yatsuda detailed, "When we announced Repop for the first time in July last year, we had used the word remake without any specific explanation, which caused some anxiety among fans of the original game. In the following period, we received thousands of inquiries via email and social media from fans containing questions and requests about the project. Among them, 'Please don't change the game scenario and worldview,' and 'Please make it uncensored,' were among the most requested. From there, we made the decision not to make changes to the script, taking into account both the wishes of users and international reviews." He then recalled, "As for requests for the game to be uncensored, we're also working on realizing this to be the best of our ability. As for what changes the dev team was looking to make to the sunny beachside town of San Romero, Yasuda informed Yamanaka, battle is an element we're quite focused on. We would like to revamp the battles into something that the console action game players of today will enjoy, such as doing away with the sluggishness and chainsaw battles with speed adjustments, improving input time for cheerleading and chainsaw combo attacks, as well as improving camera movement. As the chief director of the original Lollipop Chainsaw, I have a good understanding of the issue it had, and I intend to tackle them through the development of Repop. Aside from improvements to battle, we will also be making improvements to things like resolution, frame rate, loading time, and more.
A lot to talk about.
We are carefully selecting new elements to raise the game's appeal, such as changeable extra functions for the chainsaw and a consecutive hit system independent of the combo attack system. Ultimately, Yasuda ended this time with Automaton by addressing the fans directly, informing them for Repop, we will be
This
going
is
down
turning into
the
Resident
tried and
Evil
true path of
6.
keeping everything that the original game has highly acclaimed for, improving everything that has previously been received poorly,
This game.
while responding to user requests and adding carefully selected new features. We're going to make Repop a game that everyone can love and enjoy on modern consoles. From now on, I will be making updates about once a week on Twitter to explain everything from improvements and new features to the game. I make sure to look at user messages, so don't hesitate to share your opinions or wishes with us. Thank you for your continued support for Repop.
Too many stages, too much shit going on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about another boss fight that'll be coming up later.
Alright then.
Don't tell me there's another fucking phase.
Not
Tell me that one worked, please.
No, the one where the no wonder or your family left you line comes from. That's the last phase of that fight.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
3 phases was already too much.
Yeah, I'm talking about another boss fight that'll be coming up later. And trust me, you're gonna hate that one.
But she wasn't very much in the mood for talking, I guess.
Oh, Aardman Animation is running out of clay and only has relatively enough to make the next Wallace and Gromit, apparently. And the clay they used was made specifically by stop motion for one factory.
I think
that factory has now shut down.
Ooh.
I think Lydia has actually seen Wallace and Gromit. Have you? Any?
Yeah, let's hope that they find a way to get that clay, get more clay, unless they have to reuse some theory.
Because when they found out that it was shutting down, they bought all of the clay they could.
And it's only one factory. That's odd.
Well, hell, there's been some shit like that before, where like stuff is like handmade by one guy, and that one guy like has to like wind up teaching it to somebody else to just to be able to sustain in the production of it. Like there was a period of time where trying to keep the story straight in my head here. Oh yeah, they're showing him the symbiote trying to assimilate Norman Osborn.
Oh yeah, did Alex say "What are you doing to me" game the entire stream?
No, this is a couple of times.
But
yeah.
That's been a meme for over a year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been revealed that Nintendo is officially teaming up with Avi Arad for a live-action Legend of Zelda movie.
Yeah, we talked about that too, and I was like, not looking forward to that. Oh yeah, so have you ever heard of the B-Bender modification for guitars?
No, I never heard of it.
So there's this mod you can do to a guitar, where you can like put like a thing on the bridge that connects to the strap that you can like use the weight of the strap to pitch bend the guitar string, specifically the B string.
There may be a lot for you to talk about, but there ain't much for me to talk about, and I'm getting a little tired, so I'll catch y'all.
See you later, man.
You're fine, man. Well, there is some bad news or good news, depending on who you are. Disney CEO reveals Disney Plus as we know it will shut down in December. Tells parents to prepare.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, hang on. I gotta
Horror.
take a look at that. Can you like repost that link or just reply or
It's
say
in the news
this
topics.
here?
It's in the news topics. All you have to do is scroll up a few times.
Scrolling up.
You'll see Mickey Mouse walking away.
Okay, yeah, that's from Inside the Magic. I have no idea what Inside the Magic is. So let me see here.
By the way, hey guys, in the version of Mario 64 that I'm playing, you get to see low-res Mario. Which, by the way, it's very, very obvious that this game was not meant to be played on HD TVs with HD or 4K TVs.
Established in 2005, Inside the Magic is a hub for devoted Disney and Universal Studios enthusiasts. Our channel is your portal to an enchanting world filled with exclusive events, immersive ride experiences, breaking entertainment news, etc. Okay. It doesn't seem like a parody series, so at least we're on the right track there. I just wanted to make sure we weren't looking at, like, something like the Disney equivalent of Hard Drive.
The fuck?
So, or the Hard Times, or the Onion.
Oh,
You've never heard of? You've never heard of Hard Drive?
No, I never.
Hard Drive is a satirical video game news website.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like the Onion for video games.
Huh.
Here we go! And I finished with Big Boo's Haunt.
Please just hear fucking Jameson instead of this whiny-ass bitch.
Well, seeing as we're pretty late, I'm gonna end my stream. So hopefully things will be less jank on
Technically
my end.
difficult later?
Oh, here you go.
Yes.
So anyway, I'll see y'all later.